So I thought this week I'd give you a picking exercise, relatively simple picking exercise that will let you really push yourself and see just how far you can take the kinds of picking techniques that I've been talking about over the past few weeks. Now, I'm assuming that you know your 3 notes per string scale shapes. But if you don't, I have put a video online in the past that talks about them. I'll put a link up here somewhere. So just click on that if you want to check them out. And in that I go through the detail why I use 3 notes per string scale shapes, and I go through each of the 7 positions going up the neck. And this actually is a useful little exercise for drilling those 3 notes per string scale shapes as well. But the other nice thing about this exercise is that once you get it under your fingers, it's something that you can start to adapt. You can start to move it around in a much more free-form way and use it in your solos and things like that. So anyway, let's drill into the guitar and I'll go through it. So we're going to be working with groups of 3 with the left hand. So that's 3 notes a string and 3 strings in a group. And then with the right hand, we're just going to be playing with the usual picking pattern that I've talked about in the past, which is thumb, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. And so really you're kind of drilling 3 things. One is this 3 against 4 idea, which I've spoken about a lot in the past. It's such a common thing to have to sort of balance 3 notes with the left hand with 4 notes with the right hand. The other thing is, because there's 9 notes in a phrase on the left hand and the right hand is just going around in cycles of 4, you'll find that every time you play around that phase, you're starting it with a different finger on the right hand, so you're getting this phasing of left hand to right hand. And then I guess finally you're working on 3 notes per string patterns, so you're really starting to drill those into your hands and you're figuring out how the positions fit together. So that's useful as well. So anyway, the exercise itself, what we're going to do is we're basically going to ascend across 3 strings like that, and then we're going to reset back 1 set of strings and then cross 3 strings again, then reset, and then once you reach that top E, we're going to slide up to the next position and start descending. Again, groups of 3 strings, then reset, and then back to the start. Just like that. And of course you need to then work with pairs of 3 notes per string groups and work your way all the way up the neck, just working between the pairs of them and figuring out how they fit together. Now, it's one of those exercises that's really good. You know, I've talked about the ramping metronomes that I've put online before. If you've not checked those out, I'd definitely recommend checking those out and seeing how long you can work against the slowly increasing metronomes that I put online. It's a great way of working on this. The other thing you can do, which makes it really quite fun, is to start getting freeform. So instead of just moving to the next position, start to try and move around the neck. It's a lot easier when you're not talking. But try moving around the neck in groups of 3 strings in the same way. And that really becomes a useful sort of little lick to use if you're improvising. I certainly use that a lot myself. So one of the things I find interesting about doing an exercise like this is once you start to get it under your fingers, you'll discover that the limiting factor in the speed that you can take this is your left hand and not your right hand. And I guess the reason for that is that when you're doing 3 notes per string scales, you're recycling your fingers, if you like, once every 3 notes on the left hand, but it's once every 4 notes on the right hand. So the right hand, if you like, can generate more speed than the left hand can, doing the same kind of thing. Anyway, have a go with it, see how far you can take it. when I was young and agile and things, I was getting up to about 18 notes a second when I was doing this. There's no way I can do that anymore now, but I can still move around when I'm doing these kinds of things. So anyway, see how you get on. I'll chat next time. Bye bye.